Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Toonkind at 12 FPS. Uh, this is another FPS following the game Red, White, and Rose. You're going to want to check out the content warnings because it was a rough game, so the FPS is going to be rough.
They will
First,
be in the description.
it will, yes. I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the professor.
And hi, I'm Avi. I'll be playing Shiro Azumi, who's also brought his dog with him.
Hi, I will be playing Camille, the little baby detective who has brought his bird with him because they are attached, quite literally.
You can introduce yourself.
I am Fletch.
Hi, Fletch. I love you.
I love you too. It has been a day.
So, Professor has had, everyone's been feeling the fallout for after the, vampire game. Because everyone had a time, of one flavor or another. And, Professor has been visited by, Crystal, to check out his bite wound, and also by Tome a little bit later to check in on him, and they ended up having a very intense conversation. And now it's time for Camille and Azumi to visit the professor. Azumi had been with him a little bit towards the beginning, but obviously he's got to take care of Camille as well. Thankfully, Professor has parked the Ellipsis on the same street as the Layton household.
Yeah, that reminds me. I think have they gone to the doctor at this point, Fletch?
I would like to think that they probably have.
Okay.
I imagine that Azumi would not have left it to sit for a while, and
Absolutely.
At this point, poor inmate probably has like a little section of their schedule just in case. Considering how much this child gets into if he's going on a trip, then that usually leads to excitement of some kind.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think at this point, Azumi's probably walking with Camille. They hold in hands, and Kuro is on a leash, and gonna walk on over to the ellipsis, and I guess Azumi's just gonna knock.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Professor goes to the door and opens it. Oh, hello.
Hi, we wanted to see how you're holding up.
Sure. Come inside.
All right.
And he'll lead them in. And there's like a chair in the console room with like a book or two on it. So he's like, where would you like to talk?
Azumi looks over to Camille to see if he has any input.
I guess wherever's comfortable. Considering how
Right.
things tend to go when all three of us are together.
Right. Let's, well, might as well be the library then.
Right.
And he's going to lead the way there.
Sorry, every time they meet up like this, it's the library, TM.
Yeah. It's got a nice seating area. There's a fire. It's nice.
Koro probably does try to jump on the professor's leg the moment they step inside because he's not wearing the vest.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a playful little pup for like a total of a few seconds.
Yeah. Professor will smile and scratch him behind the ears.
Good.
Very good.
You have passed the test.
So Professor's gonna get on a seat in one of the couches in the library. There's a fire going. What are you guys gonna do?
Camille is going to take a seat and probably pull out spades.
Mm-hmm.
I think before Azumi sits down, he kind of just gestures and he says, "Is it alright if Koro..."
Oh, of course.
Alright. And then he's gonna sit down and also like undo the like leash, and then Koro's just gonna immediately jump up and just lean into Azumi's lap.
Aww.
Better be getting good pets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's like a one hand just absentmindedly on this little dog's head.
No.
Did you get your bite checked out, Camille?
Oh, yeah, Shiro insisted, which is probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, fun fact for the audience, Camille forgot that he probably had pretty bad blood loss. Like that, he doesn't have a lot of HP, so that one bite basically took him to bloodied.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. He might be stupid, but Zumi noticed. All the brothers probably noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And he got it checked out just fine.
Got scrubbed specifically to get it checked out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sumi, you're not gonna incriminate your little brother like that.
I think it would be funny if he did.
And he just kind of sighs and rubs a hand against his face, and he just goes, "You forgot about the blood loss."
Oh.
I might have forgotten about that, but
Camille, I may have healed you, but you are half real kind. That's not an immediate fix.
well, in my defense, the last time I had major blood loss, I sort of immediately went to the hospital and might have blacked out most of that night.
Was that the kidnapping?
No.
No, that was me out of character.
No, that was that was when he was still Sam.
Oh, okay.
I think he did not have major blood loss during the kidnapping case because I don't think y'all would have just let him sit there if he did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was stable. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing you went to the hospital. That's usually the correct course of action when you have blood loss.
Yeah, I'm aware of that now. Well, I was aware of that, but you know what I mean. Anyways, what about you? You also got bit pretty badly.
Yes. Yeah, he is actually, I forgot to mention, not wearing his coat, hat, or scarf. They would have been set up on a coat, a hat stand, in the console room. Yes, I took Crystal up on her offer to check it out, and it's healing all right.
That is good to hear.
Mm-hmm. She gave me some antibiotics and such to something actually specifically for vampire bites, which was good. So I had that. It was helpful.
I think it would be really funny if Azumi says this. He kind of raises a brow and he says, "Oh, is that why she started demanding first aid lessons?"
She went through with it, huh?
Oh yeah, you. I guess you haven't checked the chat, but she was very insistent. I mean, not that I mind though, because honestly, I kind of do need a refresher on. And he's just gonna start rambling about various poisons, their interactions, and how best to deal with them, specifically in a setting where proper medical tools are not around.
Mm-hmm.
Neil. Azumi's just gonna let him go because at this point it's just easier to do that, and also he thinks it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he has thoughts, and he needs to make sure that these are all the most up to date, most helpful ways to go about it. Because you'd be surprised how many times he's had to. Actually, you probably would not be surprised by how many times he's had to deal with this.
Yeah. Now, Camille, you might have to, well, I'm sure many of those will be addressed. They might not all be. You might have to ask the instructor, just because I'm not sure that all of those count as basic first aid.
Huh.
Yeah, Azumi just starts snickering.
Hey.
It's just that, here in Villestown, I'm not likely to encounter the venom of the crested river snake of Faruma.
Camille looks away.
Well, I mean,
obviously, it can happen because you brought it up. But it may not be as useful to everyone else as it is to you specifically. You may just have to prompt the instructor a bit.
I suppose that's fair.
Either way, yeah, I think this is my fault. She learned that I, well, for obvious reasons, have to take care of most of my own medicine myself, and she was not happy with that.
Well, can't say I see fault in the logic, especially working in a detective agency. It will certainly come in handy.
Oh yes, no, I do think it's very considerate.
It would also be good for us to know how to help you specifically. Though, for that, we'd probably have to hear that specifically from you.
You would. You're not going to find it anywhere else.
Mm.
He's kind of doing the little hint nudge here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Professor is looking at him, kind of curiously, like he wasn't sure that he would want to, but it sounds like he's interested, so that's good. He supposes.
Yeah, considering you just heard him ramble about obscure-ass poisons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I suppose we can, arrange something.
Okay.
I'll have to compile a document. Could probably give it to Crystal as well.
That does make sense.
Oh,
That-
exciting. Documents.
Azumi beloved.
I don't know why he's... We started the FPS by saying that, like, people have been feeling it since the events of Red, White, and Rose. I don't know how else to say that Azumi is fine.
Yeah,
this is
that's fair.
This is closer to Azumi's norm.
Yeah. He actually had fun.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, no, he's only feeling the effects through his little brother, so
Yeah.
secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I don't think he got hit that entire fight.
he
either.
did not. He did not.
Yeah, since Azumi was kind of low priority considering there were 2 vampire buffets there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Neither Azumi nor Tome got hit, but everybody else in the party did.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, Crystal stopped by. Tome visited actually.
Oh, he did? How's he holding up?
Better than I had expected. I don't... Actually, not come to think of it, I'm not really sure why. Maybe he got to talk it out with somebody first, but he seemed fairly level when he spoke to me. Just... Yes, I think he was more put together than I was at that point. I was concerned that he would be upset with me over what happened, but he didn't. Thankfully, he's not holding a grudge.
There is a nod, and Camille does seem relieved that his dad is doing better, at least, since he has not seen Tome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. That was my
fuck.
knee.
Ooh.
Oh no!
I'm okay, don't worry.
Okay. He wanted to, it sounded like he planned to see you soon.
Oh, that's good.
He better.
Oh, no, he will.
Can I?
You
Can
want
I
an
have
insight?
Camille say something? Sure.
I thought that's what you were asking. No, if you want to say something, go ahead.
I'm going to take that insight offer regardless, though.
Okay.
Camille, I was tempted to have Camille say something very stupid, like, like,
I'm also really tempted to, like, have Azumi bully Prof a little bit.
Oh my
Fair.
gosh.
Yeah, I was tempted to have Camille say something like, well, he's probably waiting for Shiro to leave.
Well, whatever you rolled, you definitely, like, see from Professor's face that that's absolutely correct. Nice.
Well, he was probably waiting for Shiro to leave.
Professor doesn't say anything, but it is evident.
Well,
There is a little bit of, yeah. There's a little bit of a smile. He's teasing him, brother.
I did get excited. I can't really defend myself here.
No, I'm glad you did what you did. As I told Tome, I am extremely grateful that, that you all were, on the top of your game for that fight, and, quick to respond to when Ari and I got bit.
Sumi's gonna say something stupid.
Yeah.
He just goes, kind of, like, leans back and folds his arms, and he's just, Nobody's ever thanked me. Thank you, Wiki.
Wiki.
It's just Koro.
I'm a buddy.
And Sumi just kind of goes, Nobody's ever genuinely thanked me for something like that. I'm quite honestly not sure how to respond to that.
There's a bit of a snort from Camille.
He did commit big murder.
Oh,
he
yeah.
did commit big murder.
No, I was rather, rather proud of how you were able to choose your battles, actually.
Wiki.
Over those 2 days, there were lots of times when, you could have, flown off the handle, but, you didn't. In fact, you kept me from doing so. And when you did, it was well timed.
Sort of just nods a little bit.
Sorry. Azumi doesn't know how to respond to that. You're proud of him? God forbid. I could base this off his passive deception. His passive deception is a, 22? So there's just, like, this moment of a pause where he's just kind of looking at you blankly at that, like, he doesn't know how to respond, so he just kind of, like, shifts and straightens and says, well, anyway.
I am glad that you were there, Shiro.
You're not
Listen.
helping this.
He is not. Listen, Camille has complicated TM feelings, but he is glad that his brother was there.
Yes, there are times when it is extremely fortuitous to have a skilled fighter on your team. This was definitely one of those times.
I don't know if I would call that skilled. I just wanted to rip his head off.
Well, you do get a little protective.
Professor is just, like, not sure what to say. Like, he knows, but that's not...
Like, Azumi is just... He bit 2 of us. What else was I going to do?
Yeah, So it makes sense that Azumi being protective is going to lead to some murder.
Professor just kind of shrugs.
If Azumi were a tune, there would be question marks around him. He doesn't know how to accept praise.
I hold him so gentle. Get praised, idiot.
Thank you, audience.
How are... Speaking of everything that happened, how are you, emotionally?
Well, to be honest, still a bit rattled. But, I mean, it's over and we're not there anymore, but...
But it was still a traumatizing incident.
Yes. And, well, I can usually... Well... I can usually shrug that sort of thing off, but because of the specific circumstances, was not so easy.
You did mention an oath.
Yeah, there's that. He like, winces.
And I'm guessing that has,
He sort of makes a vague little gesture because Fletch's brain is dying today.
We're all feeling it, huh?
Yeah, I can't remember if Professor mentioned specifically that he has to kill vampires to Camille.
He said it had to, he said, he has to destroy them on sight.
Alright. Yeah, so...
Yeah, that youth is, pretty concerning. Considering what happened with, Percy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't... Alright, to make this clearer, I don't want to have to go after Percy. He's fine. He seems to be trying to go straight. That's fine. But he just sort of, like, he like looks away a bit. Well, I have technically a responsibility to at least the two others we passed in the hallway.
Do you want me to take care of them?
I
Don't.
I already pulled some strings on that front.
What?
Obviously not to kill them if that's possible, but I did ask someone to make sure that they faced consequences in a non-lethal way.
He's just sort of like, you had his full attention, and then he just sort of like, makes a face and looks away again.
Yeah, Camille does look a little apologetic.
Is there any way you can get out of that oath?
I don't know.
It might be worth looking into since, I mean, at the very least, you won't have it hanging over your head this whole time.
Yeah, yes, but then, well, it's not, well, it's not exactly a pressing matter, considering vampires are typically immortal. They're not going anywhere.
That is true.
He just sort of like puts his hands like pressed together in front of his face. Like, I don't want to have to destroy things, but I don't. It's hard because I don't completely disagree either. Because, well, they just, I mean, in order to live, they kill people and they spread their curse, and in order to stop them spreading, you have to stop them feeding, which means you have to destroy them because they don't die. They just don't. Their existence inherently means death to others.
Well, not exactly. At least not in NyQuil.
He does a little half shrug. He's just,
My aunt lives in a place called Halloween Town, and there are a lot of vampires and other undead that live there peacefully. And sometimes there are still vampires and undead and such that are determined to hurt and kill others no matter what. And sometimes you can't deal with them the same way like you would with the living person. And you can tell that there is a
grimace as he says that. Because, haha, boy Sharon does have feelings.
And I understand what it's like to have conflicting feelings on things, especially like this. But at the very least, if you're outside of your oath, in the end it'll be your own decision and not something else forcing your hand.
If a vampiric entity can survive without killing people, then that's fine. That's not the sort of vampire that I have to go after.
So if you met a vampire like that, would your oath still apply?
A vampire like what?
Like the ones in Halloween Town that don't kill people.
Well, do they... I would have to know more, frankly. I'm not sure. It could be an edge case. I would like to think that I wouldn't have to. But I don't know enough about them to be sure.
There's a nod.
I can try contacting my aunt to get more information for you.
Don't worry, I'm not going to go to Halloween Town on purpose. That's for sure.
I imagine not. I guess my point is that even you don't have to agree with an ideology completely, and you don't have to follow it all the time, and having the ability to say no really does give you a lot more freedom.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to get out of this oath. If there is, I would definitely like to. Huh?
Well, we are already trying to find a way to get one person out of a awful oath, so what's another?
Well,
Remind me.
Maybe Oh, I really don't want to bargain with them, though. It's possible they could annul it if I did something for them. That's how I got my exile lifted, but I really hate doing their dirty work.
Azumi's been handing me two things this entire time, because, like, comforting is not his forte.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Camille was just, you were exiled. Because he doesn't know that, and I just double checked.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think would be funnier? if Azumi emphasized that, hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you in reference to the vampires? Or, hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you in reference to whoever he made the oath to?
Oh my god. I don't know. It's up to you.
Okay. Let me just... Okay, I think I can combine it in one go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just shifts a little. Hand goes back to Koro's head, and he's just, well, if you can't find your way out of the oath, my offer still stands, and everyone here knows the kind of bullshit I've been through. I don't make that offer lightly. And that said, if you'd rather I go after the people in charge of your oath...
Oh. Thank you, but no on both counts.
Can we rewind for a moment? You were exiled?
Yes. Twice, technically. Twice.
Like?
Yes. Once from my home planet, and once, to, Darth in a specific time period. So, the first time, I at least had, most of time in the galaxy to explore. I just couldn't go to what used to be my home. After that, I was confined to a single place and time, which was uncomfortable, to say the least.
Yumi keeps handing me stupid things to say.
Camille also keeps handing me stupid things to say.
He's just... The more I hear about your people, the more I steadily increase disliking in them.
I thought Force and all have problems, but that's... Any...
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, like, Zumi, I don't think even you could kill them.
I don't like the way you phrased that, because now I'm just going to take it as a challenge.
We probably shouldn't
No.
try to do that.
No, because they don't play fair. You're never going to meet just one. And they don't stay down.
Well, that just means that we have to be crafty about it if it ever comes to it. And I mean crafty in terms of making them face consequences, because we're going to try and keep the murder of living people to a minimum. Please.
Fine.
You can't make a times R face consequences. They're going to get bailed out by their fellows, and I mean, heck, they can just erase the event from time.
But they are still people.
Yes.
And people are susceptible to mind games.
Yes.
Camille says this, and Azumi just puts his head in his hands.
Well,
I'm not sure I understand.
You're not going to 4D chess with entities that allegedly can manipulate time like that.
Oh, and you saying that you can face them in a fight and kill them is fine?
My dear, we learned for 4D chess in nursery.
I still managed to fool you for a while, so...
I meant we as a society, not...
Don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence.
Girl's just giving you a sort of
I happen
a
to be
smug little look.
I happen to be very good at 4D dragon chess, actually. I beat a god at it once.
And yet you lost to a 7-year-old.
Define lost.
I don't think that counts, Camille. You're technically 17.
But it's funnier if I say 7.
Well, and I did find you out.
That was under an intervention circumstance, and thus is an outlier and should not be counted.
No, I think we should definitely count that,
Under an
Camille.
intervention, I was the one who intervened.
But for different reasons.
No, I think this definitely should count, Camille.
I don't think it should.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
Well, I'm the older brother here, and I think it should.
He'll just sticks his tongue out at Azumi, and it is joined by 2 more bleps from Spades.
He pushes your head down.
There is a squeaky toy noise.
I'm just glad that at this point Azumi can, engage in this sort of sibling bullying.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Oh, I meant to mention, you, well, I mean, you saw the evidence yourself, but, you are indeed that poisonous, Camille.
Yeah,
Not
probably...
not just to vampires. Although that probably didn't, help that they took such a good, helping.
Azumi lets go of Camille's head.
Sort of just squints to just, wait, you knew about that beforehand?
Yes, I wasn't... I tested it, back when, back when I looked at your blood and your DNA and everything. It sort of, instantly shriveled, a few plants.
That is concerning.
Yes, you're going to want to... I mean, it's always a good idea to, wear gloves and, proper, personal protective equipment when dealing with blood in any case, but, going to have to, I guess tell your physician and, anyone who actually has to, in some scenario, apply first aid to you. They should know to be careful about that. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't have to tell them why, but you can just insist they wear gloves.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Azumi, you can't just hand me that's metal out of nowhere. You're not saying that out loud, you stupid idiot boy.
I think Arata is starting to get to him.
Yeah. Hirata and Yamazaki, because, like, this is post-Yedo, so...
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you should probably talk to Tome about it more, because he knows more about that specific effect.
Right. That,
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, it'll come in handy if we come across vampires again.
I recommend not getting bit. If at all possible.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that is the ideal, isn't it?
Yes. Camille, like this, there's not really a lot of you to go around, so I would limit the biting, if possible.
Azumi snorts and he's just, Camille, if you got bit again, I would be the one killing you.
It's just a suggestion. It's an... Obviously, I'm not going to do that when I'm suffering from major blood loss, but
No.
if it happens in the future, it does seem like a much quicker way of ending things than,
He is definitely saying this as a joke, but
Azumi just kind of rubs against his face and he's just, you are terrible at this.
Leo's a lot better at being comedic relief than I am.
It is kind of interesting how I reacted to things. From being able to sort of examine it at a distance now. I think my preferred pragmatic response to a threat is to run. But I think I'm now curious if my fear response is to fight. The thing is, it just doesn't usually kick in. There's not really much that I actually fear.
That does make sense.
Azumi.
Are you referencing what happened in the in the tunnels?
Hall? Yes. And with Percy.
Azumi kind of looks to Professor, and I think he would ask this, and he's just, are you afraid of vampires, or more so what might happen if you don't follow through with the oath?
He thinks, and he almost looks like slightly surprised at the answer he comes up with, because he just does a slight shrug and he says, the vampires, actually.
Interesting.
I've dealt I've dealt with my own kind, but the thing about well, the maybe it's because the things that would happen would be different. Let's see. If we lost, for example, Aerie would almost certainly be turned. Tome could be turned. You could be turned. Camille, I don't think you can be turned, but they might just get rid of you outright, which is certainly possible. But I can't. Well, they'd figure me out one way or another, and either
You're worried about them not killing you, but keeping you alive. And
yes. I don't know if it was evident in the fight. Probably not, because you all sprung up so quickly, but Times Our Blood is very attractive to vampires, and it's kind of like a really powerful vampire health potion.
right, that does track.
And so it would be strategically a good idea to keep me around. And it's not like they could... it's not like I would... It's not like I can be turned anyway. If they did kill me, I would just come back, and they would just keep using me up until I stop coming back. Which is a horrible way to go.
I can see that. Honestly, I can understand a bit of that fear. There are many things that are a lot worse than dying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
Oh, if it helps, I don't think that they would have a very easy time killing Shiro, and after that, I don't think there would be any stopping him.
Perhaps.
I'm very good at getting the kill first. He says that with, like, utmost confidence. Like, this is his version of a joke.
Mm-hmm. Professor does smile slightly at that, in a sort of like, yeah, you're right though, kind of way.
See, Camille, that's how you make a joke.
Oh, shut up, will you? I did the setup for you there. But I do think that for those sorts of things, it is, I think that's a very fair fear to have. It's best not to dwell on what could have happened, though.
Also, shut up, gallery.
Professor sort of sighs and he's like, I've been trying to put it out of my head, but it's not. I'm honestly hoping that having said it will help. Because it's not worked so far.
Usually saying it does tend to help. And maybe it won't be immediate, but hopefully over time it'll be better. Needless to say, you should probably never visit Halloween Town.
Yes, that, yeah. I don't think I will, which is a shame. I love Halloween.
It is very fun, but at least until we figure out your oath situation.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if it weren't for the oath, it might actually be good to meet some other vampires that aren't evil, so to speak.
It might. I've met things that are technically vampiric, but don't quite. They're they're far enough removed from the concept that they don't really count for the oath. You know, some aliens who feed on emotion or something who have figured out a way to do that in a symbiotic way. You know, it's technically vampirism, but you know, I have no quarrel with them.
And I don't imagine you have any problems with, like, vampire bats either.
Well, no, they don't kill things. They just. I mean, not typically. I mean, if they do, it's usually accidental by infection.
So, it is very vague because, I mean, there's plenty of vampires in Halloween Town that don't kill people even though they do still feed on blood or ink.
Professor, remind me. This oath of yours, is it in the same vein of a paladin oath, more magical in nature?
No. No, it is enforced by nothing but the power of those that I swore to, which would be times our society as a whole, which is very powerful.
And how would they know that you've made a transgression or against it?
Well, they not to overstate things, but because they know everything. They are extremely skilled at divination, and they essentially have ways of tracking almost everything I do. Which they do, because I'm of interest to them.
I don't like that phrasing.
Well, I am one of very few, let's say, rebels, renegades who don't follow the rules. And so they obviously want to know what I'm up to, and if they've only got half a dozen people to watch over in all of space and time, it's not difficult for them to do that. I mean, they're not going to come and get me tomorrow because they have to they have to know that if they come down here, that I'm obviously going to argue that I need more time to fulfill the oath, and then they've got to zip back where they came from, and it's a waste of a trip.
Sorry, that was me out of character.
Yeah.
You gotta love bureaucracy. How much time do you have exactly?
At least a few centuries.
Right.
Because vampires are immortal.
And you're 700 and all that.
You don't have to make it your problem. I have plenty of time to figure out something.
Professor, in all seriousness,
He points at himself.
I'm not entirely sure if offering input because we want to counts as making it our problem. You're our friend? Is that not what friends do? I might be new to the concept, but I'm pretty sure that's what friends do.
there's not exactly any getting rid of us, especially after you've done so much for our own problems.
You're right. I just meant I didn't want you to have to feel obligated. But if you want to, I would gladly accept your help.
Well, then consider this us officially offering help. Of our own free will, without feeling any obligation for it.
Then thank you.
I know this is post Yeto, but we haven't had the actual game yet. Azumi keeps handing me stupid things to say, so I think he's just Professor, you were in my head solving psychological issues. This is the least I could do.
There's a little bit of a snort.
Yes, I guess.
The mental image of Professor saying that, but in the same tone of that one reaction image. I guess.
Yeah, he's a little sheepish.
You love that for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really funny if he does that. Azumi kind of picks up Koro and just reaches over, places the puppy in Professor's lap, and is just like, good. You're accepting help now.
He's gonna pet the dog. He likes petting the
Good.
dog.
Good!
He likes dogs.
Koro,
He is a dog person.
you start petting him, and Koro's tail starts wagging.
Aww.
Yeah, he is giving the dog lots of attention.
You know when, like, dogs get, like, so excited about getting pets, they try to lick your hand while you're trying to pet them?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening.
Aww. Aw, that's so sweet. I'm glad you got Koro. He's adorable.
I'm glad too. If anything happened to that dog, I might just kill everyone I meet.
You know what? I think that's fair. I think Leo would do the same if anything happened to Camembert. That's just being a dog owner, I think.
Maybe you should get a dog and find out.
He holds up Spades, who makes an angry little clattering of beaks.
I can think of someone who would very much object to that.
Ah. Well, understandable. He's going to take one hand and pet both of Spades' heads.
Good.
Well, in that same vein, if anything happened to Spades, I would also probably kill people.
You know what? I think that's fair.
I don't know that it takes a lot for you to want to do that.
It admittedly doesn't.
Well,
Camille gently pets Azumi, like,
That is why I'm here.
Camille is like 70% of Azumi's central.
I think there's a reason why I haven't really been involved in kidnapping plots recently.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because if you let yourself get kidnapped again, I would also be kicking your ass.
I wouldn't do it on purpose again. If it happens again, it would be purely accidental. And in my defense, the last time it happened, it was accidental. And not my fault.
You were trying to actively seek her out?
No, last time was the time with the soul coins.
Ah.
I think that technically counts as kidnapping.
I think
At least
so.
I'm counting it.
Fair. I'm lucky I wasn't there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I imagine he was very lucky that you weren't there.
Soul coins
So
are
you did
nasty
get-
business.
Oh, they are. You did miss Leo getting to beat the crap out of someone again, though.
Zumi winces and like rubs a hand against his head, and he just goes, "Great, now one of them's ranting about soul coins."
Oh,
Ah,
don't.
sorry about that.
Professor is just like kind of looking at Azumi with like he's like he wants to say something, but he's not sure if he should.
Just say it.
Well, so about, I'm not sure if, Azumi told you, but I did, I have been to Dalcor, and I did kind of, do something that had to do with soul coins.
I did make their respective stat blocks recently. Because I think Azumi knew that Professor was wanted in Dalcor.
Yeah, he did tell him that.
I don't think he ever knew
why.
Why. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to find her. Where's Lobster? There he is. Could that be intelligence to be like?
It would be some sort of int roll, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, Camille's just...
At this point, I don't think I can be surprised by that.
He also doesn't really have the context for that.
Lofter got a 14. Not Lofter, Courtney. Okay.
14. Well.
And Lofter got a. What is your int modifier? You don't have proficiency in history. Yeah, that's what I thought. Lofter got a 19.
I think Lopter probably knows something.
Okay, I have a question. The actual event that Professor's talking about
happened 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Would it be reasonable that Lofter would know TM?
I think so, given Azumi's age and just sort of how they, function. He could have got it from a different quarry. Even if he hasn't been back there in the past 30 years, I'm sure he's met somebody who has.
Yeah. Okay. What? You see Azumi just kind of, pause. He's just, he's not mind-linked, so, nobody hears what Lofter is saying, so he's just, what?
Professor just sort of does, another sort of, sheepish grin.
A pause and just, what was you, exactly?
What was what?
Lofter just exclaimed, that was you.
Oh. So he's heard. Right, so, the thing that I'm wanted for in Dalcor is, kind of, upsetting, kind of ruining the economy. Because I was interfering with soul coin production, you could say.
There's another, moment where he closes his eyes and he's just, well, that explains why they're excited now.
Camille's just looking back and forth between them.
Well, they were very angry about it.
Core uses soul coins as a means of currency, Camille.
There's a wince.
I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by that. Considering how much, what I already know.
Because I imagine he probably at least knows the gist of it.
Yeah.
In that bad TM.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
bad people are in charge right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't fuck with the dreaming dark.
No.
No.
Yes, that was maybe a bad choice on my part to go on a mission that serious just after regenerating.
Oh, that is a little stupid.
A bit, yes. It did not go well for me or for anyone else on the team. But, I mean, we succeeded, technically.
Technically?
Well, we did what we came to do, which was stop them taking souls from the material plane.
There is a but somewhere in that statement.
Well, we had a lot of I guess the word would be casualties, which
Ah,
which, using that term, included myself, because I got cursed rather badly and didn't. Greater Restoration did not cut it.
Mm.
We had to call in a specialist. It was not fun.
I bet not, no.
No.
So he kind of rubs a hand at his face again, and he's just, Professor, I mean this with all the fondness that I have the ability to muster. But nothing you say about yourself or your experiences will surprise me at this point.
Well,
Yeah, I can agree with that, I think.
I'll have to try hard.
You are on the same level as Marcel at this point.
I must meet this Marcel.
Eh. Well, I do happen to know when he is in town and when I won't be in town.
Okay.
Azumi makes a face. He hates this discussion already.
Listen, it's important to coordinate.
Uh-huh. So you're both such trouble magnets that you actually schedule with each other when you're going to be somewhere.
Pretty much. I mean, we met briefly once, and that involved taking down a entire gang. And he sort of does a wavy little motion. After learning a little bit more, we decided that we should probably never ever meet again.
Oh.
You did meet in Paint Fest, though.
Well, that was when another plot was happening.
Yeah. We did meet briefly during Paint Fest, but since there was another plot occurring, we were, there wasn't too much danger in us being in the same location, but I feel like the third meeting would really, really be asking for it, considering...
The rule of threes. Quite interesting.
And quite annoying. He is very nice, and usually tends to be understanding.
That's good.
I'm so sorry to Azumi.
He's still making the, like, human equivalent of the Kermit Scrunch face.
I'm so sorry.
One of the reasons why he hates the plot. This.
Mm-hmm.
Azumi voice, what purpose does this serve? Why?
Yeah. At this point, Professor is just ignoring the use of that word.
Very fair.
Well, on to other things, though. Speaking of times our weirdness, so about the two heart things,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
that you weren't lying about the vampire war?
No. Not lying about the vampire war. That happened.
So then what were you lying about?
Oh, well, it's not the reason we got 2 hearts. There was a different reason
Raises
for
an
that.
eyebrow.
No, we got 2 hearts because because early time travel was very dangerous, and sometimes the well, we weren't quite neither the machines nor ourselves were optimized for a safe journey, so sometimes, well, one of the bigger problems that we had was that a lot of energy would shock the system, and well, that would kind of just be it. But if you've got a backup heart, you're more likely to survive, and with that hurdle crossed, we were able to develop all the rest that we needed to more safely time travel. I mean, because if you...
the vampire war would be more believable?
I don't know. I think maybe I didn't want to scare Leo with the dangers of time travel.
I think that would actually only make him more excited.
Well, it's not that dangerous anymore. Not if you're in... Not if you're in an ellipsis. If you pick up some random time-traveling artifact and just go with no protection, then... it is... that's just a terrible idea. But with something like this, you're pretty safe.
I can feel his disappointment from here. This is the guy that wanted to get cursed by a book in your library.
Right.
No. He is experiencing time travel the responsible way. I don't care what he says.
Good idea.
Well, I'm not going to give him something dangerous. Time traveling itself is dangerous enough.
Sorry, I don't know why, but like the older brother instinct just kicked in immediately.
Listen, we love to see it.
That was more a comment on whatever reaction he might have, not on you.
Well, but yeah, no, that's why one of the things we developed for optimizing ourselves for time and space travel. That's all.
Your kind purposefully. Hang on, I have to figure out how to word this. Your kind purposefully modified your own bodies for time travel specifically.
Yes.
Right, okay. He's a Kalashtar, he can't, like... he doesn't have room to judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that does explain why you know a bit about genetic modification.
Yes, it does. It is a, it's one of the 3 things that we're most good at. Genetic modification, time travel, and space travel.
Sorry, my brain immediately went, and a secret third thing.
And a secret third thing. Being assholes.
I guess that does make sense in a way.
As it happens, our, let's say, our, you know, it was an interesting time, that, era of history, because our, most skilled, geneticist, actually led, most of the attacks against the vampires.
Huh.
Interesting.
He was, an ambitious one.
How did you even get into a vampire war?
I
I understand altercations with vampires, but vampire or specifically...
it's difficult because it's, quite, well, it was, the beginning of history, really. But, well, well, we sort of just developed, or were just developing, and the vampires, came along kind of out of nowhere, supposedly from a different, universe, in fact, and started going after us because, you know, they're vampires. That's what they do. Why us? Mostly because, well, there weren't as many options back then. This is the beginning of history. There weren't a lot of other civilizations. You know, we apparently tasted very good to them, more than the other people that did exist. It was also fairly useful to them that we lived the longest by a long shot, or at least we would. We hadn't actually, it hadn't really been long enough for us to test that. We were just sort of moving from, just sort of being extremely long-lived, sort of elf-like species to time czars, which is it's a bit different. But, yeah, we were closer to immortality than most, and the vampires were also mortal, as long as they fed on living beings. Which in itself is fair. I mean, we need to eat to live too, but they subsisted on sapient beings, so that's not ideal. I mean, it was just started a conflict, and well, I mean, they came after us. We fought back, obviously.
Oh, you can tell that Camille's a Toon.
Why? What's he doing?
He's kind of just like, that story sucks. They straight up don't have a motive.
Oh my god.
It's like, what do you mean they just showed up and started eating people? That's not how things work. What's the motive?
Well, and he sort of, like, looks away a bit and winces slightly. It is said by some that, we might have accidentally punched a hole in the universe and let them in ourselves, when we invented time travel.
Okay, well, that's a completely different thing. And
Well, we don't know for sure.
I think you got propaganded.
Alright, he puts a finger up. There's a lot of propaganda, and I've been trying to unlearn it. It's been a process, but, I do have some valid confirmation about at least part of this story, because, where's my... Oh, I left my coat in the console room. I went to the River of Time, and I met Retcon, and he showed me some of Time's Our early history, and on the tapestry, it had the Vampire War, and it had a lot of bits that I remember being correct. It also had some bits that I don't remember hearing, but some of it was correct, and his tapestries they show the truth, not just what the history books say, which we wrote. So, of course, they say what we want them to say.
Camille looks over at Azumi.
I just think it's funny that he met Retcon.
It was an accident.
Yeah, like starting the Vampire War.
He just puts his face in his hands.
Bully!
This is going to be a very angsty FPS. The majority of it is just dragging the professor.
Oh, God.
Listen, at least I know that it was true that there were vampires the size of planets. I thought that was the part that was made up. It's not.
Excuse me?
There were what?
There were vampires the size of planets. And I thought that was the made up part, and it wasn't.
Okay, but why would someone make that up? Because that would be a stupid thing to make up.
I thought... What? It's not stupid. Camille, it wasn't... I thought it was made up to scare children.
I guess that makes a little more sense.
Not just to teach people in a history book. I thought it just stuck. I thought that people said there were giant vampires to scare time tots into going to bed at night and closing their door.
Either way, this is enlightening in regards to the to your oath in the first place.
I do feel like I'm learning a lot about you.
Good, fantastic.
I'm so sorry. That professor is just getting so bullied.
And to be fair, they didn't really have any of the weaknesses or foibles that modern vampires are known for. They were rather more formidable than that.
So how were they taken down?
They had the one weakness, which I mentioned, which was being stabbed through the center of the chest with some metal rod. We managed it with the planet-sized ones by building gigantic spaceships, essentially in the shape of the rough shape of what is the weapon? It's the
Snake?
nope, no. The crossbow. We called them bow ships. And so it was essentially a giant crossbow spaceship that fired an enormous, usually iron's easy to find, stake at a planetary vampire, and that's how we got rid of most of them.
Most?
When one of them fled the universe. Their monarch, in fact, escaped. Beyond our reach, unfortunately. And then, the ones, the larger ones either, we're not sure if they either shapeshifted to be smaller and then spread, or if their remains became smaller vampires, like in the Greek myths. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know if anybody knows.
So Azumi looks down to Camille and he says, God, let me figure out how he phrases it. He goes, "We are not telling Tome about this. I don't think he would be normal about the giant vampires."
I don't think he would be normal about giant planetary vampires now.
Do you know what they transported themselves in?
What did they transport themselves in, Professor?
If you say coffins.
They called them coffin ships.
Azumi stands up.
Camille just puts his head in his hand.
Azumi stands up and he starts to leave.
There really is nothing like hearing the history of your people, Professor. I think I can see why you have such a bad fear of vampires.
Thank you.
Azumi comes back and he's just... He takes a moment and he's just... I don't care if you are telling the truth. I refuse to believe coffin ships.
I'm so sorry.
You know, I do wish that was the part you got propaganded about.
You have to admit, it's very fun imagery.
Is it? Is it fun?
No, just imagine a giant coffin-shaped ship hurtling through space with an enormous crossbow flying behind it.
That's stupid.
It's fun!
I'm a tune in that stupid.
Well, it made for a very good bedtime story.
Professor, I think you're the outlier in this specific scenario.
Perhaps. I mean, all of our nursery rhymes were actually pretty nasty in hindsight.
Mm.
I mean, that is a lot of nursery rhymes.
Well, they weren't all about vampires. They were all about all sorts of monsters.
Well, there is a rather famous nursery rhyme about a plague that killed everyone, so...
Oh, God. Don't... Sorry, that was me, obvious. Every time I think about it. Every time.
It haunts me.
Mm-hmm. We're not gonna do that.
Listen,
Anyway.
I did not say the Black Plague specifically, just a plague.
Not in character.
Not in character. This is anyways.
Anyway.
So, I think it's just like a thing for nursery rhymes for some reason to be like really dark.
Yeah, could be.
Coffin ships.
He just takes a deep breath.
Please stop looking up the coffin ships.
Detective Conan is not a sci-fi. It's a murder mystery manga. He's not prepared to deal with this.
Oh, God.
I'm just not going to think about that actually. I'm
That's fine.
I love that this is where they draw the line. Like, yeah, sure, time-traveling alien with the fear of vampires from a nigh omnipotent society.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Coffin ships,
However,
however.
That's where we tried. That's too far.
Well, they
We
weren't.
can excuse time-traveling aliens and phone booths, but...
Well, they weren't known for being particularly witty with their naming conventions.
No.
That was more our thing.
bow ship.
He just, like, bites his lip and looks away, like, fuck, got him. Nope, wrong time to make that claim.
Okay.
God. We really do keep getting sidetracked to bully the professor.
Sure do. Honestly, I think he deserves a little bit of lighthearted bullying.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, this is, like, if he can joke about vampires now, this is helping.
Okay. Good.
Sometimes realizing how silly something actually is helps.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, is there any other vampire information we should know about?
I mean, unless you want me to go over the entire history, then no.
I think that's a lesson for a different day.
Yes.
Me too.
Besides, it's all sort of bits and pieces. It's like I said, it was the beginning of history. We hadn't started to obsessively record things yet. Well, and then when we did, of course, we wrote it the way we wanted it to sound.
Yeah. I mean, that is how history tends to work, unfortunately.
Oh yes, we won, so we wrote it.
I do know that is
The trend.
He nods.
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming quite prominent in my home country, too.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's just how things go.
Mm. Thank you for coming to check on me.
Well, it was the least we could do.
He just smiles fondly.
If I can make another joke,
Mm.
Zumi kind of just pauses. I like to think that like this entire time Koro has just been like sitting in Professor's lap this entire time.
Mm-hmm. He has been petting him.
Yes, good. Koro doesn't know what's going on. He's just here.
Yeah.
God, what was he gonna say? He says, I think it's rather concerning that, barring Mr. Udin, I am doing relatively the best out of our entire party.
Oh, I feel like if I did my usual method of dealing with things, I feel like you would probably all have to take me aside and tell me once again that it's a traumatizing incident.
Yes, and it was, you got bit, and the vampire literally went up and... Was it disintegrated or explode?
It exploded.
It was a violent burst of steam, so it pretty much exploded.
The vampire exploded after it bit you.
Yeah.
I think it's a good sign that you're processing this in a more appropriate fashion.
I'm being very normal about this, and as I said,
In the same way that I said I was normal after that fight.
no, I'm being normal in terms of dealing with it like a normal person and realizing that this is in fact a traumatizing situation that I should probably talk to my counselor about.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. This is what you signed him up for.
I love it so much. It's hilarious. Just imagine Dr. Masaru gets a call and he's just like, "You what?"
And this would not be the first time this happened either. Like, hey, Dr. Masaru, I guess you got turned into a soul coin. Hey, Dr. Masaru.
Professor puts his hand on Camille's hat, probably, and just kind of like, does sort of like a twisting motion and how do I describe it? Like pushes it down on his head.
There is a squeaky toy noise.
You see why that's so fun now, right?
I'm well aware of what happens when you do that. I think that perhaps it would lose its comedy potential if you were to abuse that fact.
I've only done it once.
I think once is enough.
Alright.
I think you should do it again.
Professor just like looks at Camille.
Camille is staring back at you with an unimpressed look.
He just reaches around and squeezes his shoulder instead.
Still makes a squeaky toy noise.
I think Professor starts laughing at that. He didn't expect.
There's a sigh from Camille. She's just,
I appreciate the effort.
God, would the squeak toy noise set off Koro?
Oh my god.
Oh, would it?
I think he just kind of goes like sits upright like toy.
Now, toy Koro.
Zumi just kind of picks up Koro from wherever he's been sitting and just goes no. You just hear like soft snuffling from Koro.
Oh.
His tail's still wagging, by the way.
I love that for him.
Little dog.
Dog. Things that make me want to pet my own doggy.
Please also give pets to Iggy from me.
Alright. Yeah. I'm doing chin scratchies. There you go.
I will say Professor is looking much more upbeat. He's just kind of like much more relaxed. He's looking at the two of you very affectionately.
Oh.
Aw.
Do we have anything else we want to cover?
I don't think so.
I think it would be really funny if Azumi realized that Eri is normal TM and he acted like that right this moment, and that's where we end off.
Fair. Camille is definitely planning on checking in with Harry. Since I don't want to bring things back too serious, Camille probably blinks. It's just,
You know, speaking of dealing with things normally, we probably should check in with Ari since he did get bitten.
Oh,
Oh?
I just realized that was the first time I've met Mr. Houdin.
Oh. Do you need help picking out a gift basket?
I already sent him something.
I think I might just write a note.
and
Like-
see.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you so much, you two.
Yes, thank you. Thank you both so much.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I am surprised that people aren't begging Camille too much about him being okay with them murking the vampire, but that is valid.
Yeah, I'm afraid it wouldn't occur to Professor because
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it very much makes sense for the professor.
It would. Azumi wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right. That is it. Thank you, audience, for listening, present and future. We've had a lot of fun, and we wish you a good time zone. Goodbye.
Bye!